Very good evening to all of you. And at the onset, I would like to thank the VI for conducting such a program and the dignitary on the dais. We would like to invite them and welcome them. So I would request our President Prashantji to give a floral welcome to our chief guest for today, Shashikant Chaudhary. And our first speaker, Hemant Chafale ji. I will again request Prashantji to welcome you.
So, welcome to the VI.
So when this concept of zero to listing was thought about, and we thought that we will help from the VI sides to all the budding startups and entrepreneurs in their journey to reaching out to the global level or the national and international level. So I will request our president to just brief on behalf of the VI about the VI activity as well as the VI forum activity related programs.
Good afternoon to all. Thank you, Vijay. I would like to, as President of Vidarbha Industry Association, I would like to welcome all the members for this forum event on zero to listing under the VI Finance and Economic Forum. Friends, I have taken over as President from 1st of July, and I had a very good round of discussion with our Vice President and who resultantly finally, along with all the forum conveners, decided that we are going to make sure that all the members of VI get to taste the essence of most important topics which are relevant in the time to come. Most importantly, I believe that Vidarbha is on the cusp of growth and development. And for any growth and development, the first thing which is required is capital. If you have the right capital and the right intent, along with the right story to build on that capital, I think that's a winning formula, which I'm sure listing is definitely going to further enhance in terms of the value which you can generate from your idea. So very timely, this event is being held by the Under Finance Forum. Very, very important that we actually build credibility to the whole process of listing. And I'm sure through the talk today, the speakers as well as the our moderator are going to make sure that how you can add more credibility and actually build a success story out of it will be spoken about and shared. From our Vidarbha region, we know there are very limited people who are actually on the listed platforms. More so on the SMEs, you still can find a lot of them, but very, very few when it comes to the main board. I'm hoping that at least till the end of my tenure, we will have at least double, if not more, people coming forward and taking the benefit of listing, because I think our country overall, the vision which has been set by our Honorable Prime Minister recently on his 15th August speech as well, clearly signifies that the country is looking for growth, and this growth will be more of indigenous growth, focused on Atmanirbharta, making sure that we become self-sufficient in all the products as well as technologies that we as a country would need in this very, very globally competitive world. So friends, some of the very, very important pillars of success which we are definitely going to be spoken about will be about the governance, because once you get listed, you are talking about the money which you are raising from the outside, which calls for a lot of great governance. And I think in any success story, even for your own survival, it is very important that you have good governance practices, good systems in place. So I'm assuming with all such important inputs to be given by a very experienced Shashikant ji, who has started many companies and actually been involved very closely with startup fraternity, as well as our chief guest for today, who is going to share his own experience with his own in the Trust Fintech, the recent listing which he has gone through, would be very value adding for all of us. And looking forward to the listening to the program. Let me also add you that today's program, everything gets recorded on the app and on the camera. And many of our members actually later whenever they find it comfortable based on the search, they're able to access this program on the mobile app as well as on YouTube and our website as well. So the program is not only getting delivered to only these many audience, but to many other who actually will happen to attend this program in some or the other way. So looking forward to a great session. Best wishes to all. Thank you. Thank you.
So, based on the kind of strategy we plan, now this will be going to be a kind of podcast or interview which you will experience in the form of panel, me and the speakers together. So I will request all the dignitary either they can shift to the front of those so that we can have the panel with us. So let me share something. So how this whole program was conceptualized and when we started working, I would like to thank a person who is the inspiration and source behind it, the Vice President of BIA, Naresh Ji. And because of his efforts, now we can see this program in this present state. I'd also like to thank Hemant Ji for giving me this opportunity. Because of his busy schedule, I'm following him from last 3 months, and that today is the day when he is here. I am thankful that I can say that was my hard work to follow him and do that. But I will come to my luck part. And वो बोलते हैं ना कि जब आप किसी चीज को मतलब शिद्दत से करना चाहते हो तो कायनात भी आपके साथ जुड़ जाती है. So Shashikant ji is the example of that. You know, he is such a person like day before yesterday only I just spoke to him. Sir, we are planning from this program and we want you to be there part of this program. And he immediately said yes. And that is how we have two dignitaries on here. So first, I will deal with Hemant ji and we'll try to explore his whole journey. And then we will come to Shashikant ji to tell us, add on his experience and to address the all the audience members and the members who are connected live to get the what difficulties they are facing and how they can overcome those challenges, what things they should do and don't do's and don'ts. So let me introduce Hemant ji. हेमंत जी तो ऐसे बहुत शांत स्वभाव के हैं but वो कुछ बोलते नहीं अपने बारे में. So we thought about doing some presentation. They said, "Yeah, it's there. Everybody is knowing that nothing much about me." So I said, "No, but the audience must know and we must know that कि इतनी बड़ी जर्नी आपने कर ली तो ऐसे तो होता नहीं ना, हर कोई तो नहीं कर सकता है. So there must be something in you that is. So let me introduce him first. He is BE by professional and academic qualification in instrumentation. He has the social responsibility which include government appointed member of MSBTE, so Maharashtra State Board of Technical Education. He is the president of Vidarbha Vaibhav. So NGO Connect he has got. He is the president, Professor Rajendra Singh Science Exploratory Dharampet Nagpur. And is the director of Nagpur Nagrik Sarkari Bank and member Rotary Club of Nagpur Downtown. So all this social association is handling while a full 24/7 into 365 days working for his organization to excel and to grow. So I would like to start from him. So, sir, tell us about the first interview question they asked me. Tell us something about yourself. So we are going to do that kind of interview pattern. So tell us about yourself, your background, your family, your how you started and what are your before becoming an employer. He has already been as an employee. He's worked with several organizations. So we'd like to have that narration. No audible? थोड़ा सा First of all, thank you very much, all VI dignitaries, will bearers, for giving this opportunity from in front of all of you. Shashi sir is my mentor since the beginning, and he knows my journey right from almost 97. So it's been, and I regularly interact with him. So any difficulty I have, Shashi sir is the answer. ये और कानिटकर सर है जो नागपुर के हम बोलते हैं कि विश्व पितामह आईटी इंडस्ट्री के. So they have always been with us, guiding any situation. As far as journey is concerned, I come from a very, what we can say, middle class family. I worked with Bombay Dyeing, SR Steel, and Indorama prior to starting this action. My mother inspired me to go to business rather than continuing in service. When I left Indorama, I had an opportunity and job in hand for Foxborough, Singapore as an instrumentation engineer. So there was a dilemma. My father used to say, Singapore job है अच्छी डिग्री मिलेगी शादी होगी मराठी फैमिली में सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज होता है बिजनेस nobody gives building to businessman. So that was a state, but we thought sir से मिला sir बोले नहीं you should do something. So we started with hardware और थोड़ा सा software. My elder brother used to work with Kaya Consultancy. That time he was into banking. So he suggested me, you are not good, you cannot do anything in instrumentation much on the programming side. So he said, why don't you do something in the banking side? So he has guided me, and that is how the journey started. Then he went to US and he was there for almost 25 years. Now he joined me in US and we started US operations also. So it was a very tough journey because I came from a different background and started with banking. And we had a couple of challenges. We met MSCB junior people, and they said they had a challenge for that time, as we have all data available on internet and desktop, mobile, everywhere. But that time, your process automation data was not available on your computers. They had a separate DAS system or a distributed control system, whatever. So first project we did was in MSCB Chandrapur, where we designed our own hardware, which was taking data from turbine, then boiler, and they had a challenge of showing it into the head office at their Prakashgarh. They were having that data at Kalwa, Road Dispatch Center. But generally, as all of you know, energy cannot be stored. So they had always a challenge of fuel backup. So basically, that was our first project, and it was successful. So they gave us order initially for all the plants, all the units, and somehow with their confidence, we built complete ERP for generation company. And our ERP was working till they initiated SAP. So 2001 to 2010, entire margin was working on our ERP. So we had a material management, then maintenance management, procurement, supply chain management for coal. Coal is a totally a different subject. And in coal, MSCB used to get coal from all ECB,
state or WCL or all company, and the carrier was railway. So the biggest challenge for them was the reconciliation, because railways they charge in advance. They have escrow arrangement with MSAB. Similarly, WCL or ACCL or coal companies, they used to have the escrow arrangement with MSAB. So the reconciliation was the biggest challenge, and that we solved. Even today, SAP they have implemented, but the supply chain management they have integrated our own old system with the SAP. So with that journey and the banking we started, but later on we moved to banking. Now we have close to 200 banks working on software.
So we'll go back the step by step, sir. That was how you started as a partnership firm, and that time you were having like people from your own family coming together. Then you were having your first clientele, and then that's what you told us about the MSME provided you that opportunity. And moving ahead, when did you thought about becoming a private limited company?
Same time, almost next year we registered. 97 we registered. 98 we registered as private limited.
So I would like to tell the audience about your first name for the private company was Trust System Software India Private Limited. What was the reason naming this as a Trust System Software?
That time trust name was available. Firstly, now trust is not available. See, the challenge is trust is in negative list. Even when we have applied for listing, so we have to make from private limited to public limited. So they said trust limited is not allowed, frankly speaking. So we asked initially Trust System Software India Limited, they said no. Then we asked Trust Systems Limited, they said no. Then we asked Trust Software Limited, they said no. They said either you have E-Trust, you should have M-Trust, you should have F-Trust, you do anything.
Prefix.
Yeah, prefix. So they suggested we will allow you Trust Fintech Limited. Why not? Let's get that name. So biggest challenge what we had in listing, it took 3 months for us for name clearance. So
this is the one learning to the audience that those who want to aspire for developing it to a limited company, even for the private limited, because we are also thinking about going private limited, and the name selection is very crucial for us. We think that our name represent our organization, and that name should be syncing with our activity, but that is not available. So we go on doing exercises. So first coming from the birth naming. So I'm just relating it to this way. Child का baby हो गया, उसका भी नाम रखे हैं, अब उसका आगे बढ़ा रहे उसको. So coming to this thing, when you become a private limited company, what you as a director or CEO must be handling the stakeholders. So usually we think about like internal stakeholder जो हमारी team होती है, employees होते हैं. Then we think about external stakeholders, the customers, clients, and then government agencies, supply chain, and all that. So how was that thing then that time?
So we were mostly initially working with MSAB. Almost firstly the Chandrapur power plant, all the power plants. That was one thing, and the product was established. So everybody was very cooperative, and they also wanted something new to come up. That way they had helped us a lot. We have a different experience with MSAB and then what people think of MSAB. So it was a very good relationship with MSAB. As far as the cooperative and banking sector is concerned, that time also the entire technology was very much what we can say new. So adopting to that, and since things were new, people were also more receptive in knowing the things. That's why it was very easy to have what we can say initial clients.
So could we say that you were fortunate enough to have a first clientele which were very supportive to you, and those are they motivated you or they help you in growing up?
Right.
So that is one more learning. So whichever area we'd like to go and further. So we need to find out the gap existing in the market and try to build your product or services based on that gap. While building a product or services, we need to also find out where we will be implementing it. So we should have again a platform or playground where we can exhibit our competencies, our skills, and then only that visibility will happen. So this is another thing we need to keep in mind. So when did you felt the need to go become public?
There is also another story. So I met one gentleman, Mr. Amit Kumar, in one of the highways. Sir was also there. He introduced me to Mr. Amit Kumar. So he suggested, why don't you go public? So I said, right now we are not in much need. But he said, I'll come to your office. So he came to office and he asked me, can you share your balance sheet? Why not? I just showed you my 3 years balance sheet, everything. And he said, what is your challenge? I said, raising a capital is definitely a challenge. And why don't you go to US and why don't you go to outside India? Why you are restricting yourself to India? So I said, for that, taking a risk at the age of 50 plus is a difficult thing. But he said, you can raise a capital through SME and you have good connect, good product. So you should go for listing. And now it started and we thought, okay, why not?
So was it a like kind of financial crunch or capital requirement that you felt that it is preventing you from scaling up, and this would be the way to meet with that requirements?
So there was no financial crunch. We were debt free since 2015
Okay.
and we were cash positive. So like अगले 6 महीने का बिजनेस हमारा बिना कोई रिसीव भी नहीं होता था तो भी हमारा अच्छे से चल रहा था. That way we were very comfortable. So when we went for roadshow, the biggest question everybody was asking, why are you taking money from the investors? That was the only tough question for me. And today also people ask me, if you see our last year balance sheet, we have not spent 1 rupee from the received amount. Because we were cash positive and we were continuing cash positive, profit making. We had raised money for having a setup in Milan and set up in US and UK. So in US also we got first order. Now we thought we will require $500,000 to send there, but it is now self-generating. Not much money is required to send there. Even UK we started, we got 2 orders in UK also. So there also next 6 months probably some pounds we may have to send, but mostly by March that will be also self-sufficient. So it will be a setup where mostly will be using the funds. And we are planning to have close to 1 lakh square feet of setup in Bihar. Today only we got a demand, final demand from the Bihar for fully next week or plan the sanction. Start construction.
Great. So we all congratulate you and wish you success over there. Sir, as you said about listing, you said first challenge was about the name. And then later on, what other challenges you felt you had gone through while listing the?
We were not having any challenge.
Okay.
Within 30 days, we received the clearance. There was only one question, why you need money. Even NSE asked to have sufficient money in your bank because that was there as a term deposit. So it was there in the balance sheet. So they also asked why you want. And that was a question. We have to write a lot of big story. And on that story, they asked, you are a product company, why you need a setup. We told them that now the rates are very high. We are getting that at a fairly low cost. Probably 5 years down the line, what we are trying to build. will require larger setup. Finally, only one query came. They accepted that.
Let me again just say remind. So you can also tell the issues you faced, or rather how you should be prepared, even from the filing details of the family members and distinct family members and all those kind of, because you went through that. So just tell them.
Yeah, generally KYC of all family members are required. और वो भी थोड़ा सा एक tough होता है because they asked KYC of your like immediate relatives also, like father-in-law, mother-in-law, for your all siblings. So वहाँ भी एक थोड़ा 4-5 दिन लग गया क्योंकि my elder brother, his father-in-law passed in 2003, and they were asking his Aadhaar card.
What is the logic behind asking all this relative?
Because the insider trading should not happen. So that's why they have all the PAN cards and the Aadhaar card of all immediate relatives.
तो काफी टाइम गया था उनको, because he did not anticipate कि हाँ father mother तक ठीक है, मगर brothers in laws and what is the logic behind asking all this person?
वो एक उसमें टाइम गया. पर वो then they asked undertaking that death certificate and undertaking that. And since my brother used to be in US, so for getting everything, he has to go to notary and he has to get it signed there. So it's a.
In which year you gone for public?
Pardon?
In which year you gone for public?
He gone for public in March 24.
Sure. And sir, they asked you about the justification for need of funds for getting it listed. So can't there be a company who is just aspiring to get listed if they are financially stable at their own level? Then can't they have just the aspiration to get listed, or this justification is must in their process?
I think 3 years balance sheet what they look at, and 5 years track record. They have asked us, like they have some impaneled legal agencies also who scrutinize all your previous returns and everything, your cases, everything. So generally they go for 5 years. Some cases I think they go for more than that, but even I think 3 years balance sheet.
3 years,
Yeah.
3 years to 5 years.
3 years का
Profitability of also.
Minimum 3 साल का तो चाहिए.
Yes.
What is your employee strength in your company?
Currently we are 400%.
And employee turnover ratio is less than industry. No?
Yeah, it's
I'm coming to that part of thing because I just told about
Employees are the strength of your
Yes, yes, yes.
entire-
because the next thing was like once they have been listed and the IPO is there. So we wanted to come to the process of IPO listing, like how was the process and how difficult it was to raise convince the investor to invest into this, get the amount of what you are got to the IPO.
actually we had a merchant banker. Merchant banker had one roadshow in Bombay. That time I think around 50 people they came for roadshow. All big players were there, and pre-IPO I think that a ground is there for taken in institutional round. So in institutional round itself, like we had almost 100 times. Within that only presentation it was there. Bank of America and all big players were there. So everybody shown interest in our story. We were like, we were having institutional round of 17 crore only. And all big players, Chase Bank, everybody was asking 10 crore plus. That was the story, and then same percolated outside. Our issue was oversubscribed. Actually, our days were very difficult. Like it was after Holi, only 3 days were there. So 25, 26, 27 was the issue open. Only 3 days, and it was oversubscribed 108 times.
What was the issue size was?
Issue size was 63 crores.
60. 100 shares is a good achievement.
एक एडवांटेज हो गया है कि मार्केट में वो विजिबिलिटी मिलने लगी है एक्चुअली तो साइज ऑफ द ग्रोथ कुड बी नेक्स्ट हायर लेवल पे हो जाते हैं फिर बाहर वाले को इन्वेस्टर आ रहे हैं बाहर वाला कोई एसोसिएशन करना है तो उसमें विजिबिलिटी मिल जाती है एक्चुअली मेरा था ना
और काफी बच्चे जितने भी हमारे नागपुर के IT कंपनीज लिस्टिंग में गए,
यस सर
everybody has got more than 100 times.
यस
Everybody, be it Delapax, be it हमारा
BG virtual
or virtual galaxy.
यस
So सभी को this is also a trend which has been observed in the small exchange. The issues are getting oversubscribed more than 100 times. सभी के साथ काफी लोग के साथ हो रहा है अच्छे जो ये है पूरा. That's already happening in the SME segment, SME listing.
In banking sector, which sector you are serving? What is the process?
प्रोडक्ट्स
involved in your
आपके
software?
process.
Where the banking you are using your skills?
हम लोग सभी बैंक्स के empaneled vendor हैं.
What type of service in banking sector?
Product.
Products what?
Products we have like PFMS, Public Finance Management System. We have built PFMS breach for Government of India and Bank of India. Then we have GSP, Good Service Tax Visa Provider. We are doing GST services to Canara Bank, Bank of Maharashtra. Bank of Maharashtra, we have complete back office solution. Across India, it is implemented. Then cooperative banks, we have everything. Like largest cooperative bank in India is United District Central Cooperative Bank. Doing business of 65,000 crores. Part of the 65 crore is our client. We have everything right from UPI, internet banking, mobile banking, retail banking, corporate, investment, treasury. You name the things we have. And we match apple to apple with all tier 1 companies in terms of product. We have worked with KPMG, PwC, Deloitte. EY also now we are working. As far as the product is concerned, fairly stable. We have largest customer who has got 4,000 concurrent users. So in terms of size, 1,000 branch bank we have sold.
So I was coming to that part, like where the Trust Fintech Limited stands today. And I can see that they runs operation from Nagpur, Pune, Mumbai, having subsidiary in US and UK. And they're the IS 30,001 certified company, CMI level 5 certified company, CRISIL rated. Global presence is 25 plus companies, rank among the top core banking solution providers, and authorized GST Suvidha provider in India, empaneled with Government of Maharashtra for IT services, Microsoft Gold partner and Intel software partner for sales and support, and this e-governance system integration. You can share something about that e-governance and something related to that.
Yeah, one portal is coming up, Pradhan Mantri Employee Guarantee Program portal. Currently it is there, but it is completely discrete. So you have to apply only on post application, there is nothing digital. But what we have developed is completely digital. So it has got integration with all PSU banks. So once you apply, the application will move digitally to DIC or KVIC or whosoever is the governing body. From DIC, KVIC, it will move to public sector bank. We have integration with their CBS. So integration is initially for loan origination. Credit decision engine is within the software. So software will generate the credit decision engine. Post credit decision engine, bank will either give you offer. It is a digital offer. So you can reject also. If you feel that I am not going to give 11%, you can say no, I am not going to give 11%. If you are giving me 9.5%, it is digital. Then again, you can have 2 days, 3 days interaction. For everything, there is a turnaround time. You don't respond, that means you accept. Post that, there is a training. All MSME has to undergo training, which is online training, 7 days training. Post 7 days training, you will get sanction. So earlier, the present system, it takes 6 months to sanction. The new system will take maximum 1 month. And it will be monitored by Government of India, MSME department. Again, it has got a Google integration. Indian Post Office is going to be a monitoring agency. So we have a mobile app for them. We have bot enabled application also. So you can take photograph of your PAN, you can take photograph of your, what you can say, Aadhaar, and whatever data is there, it will get automatically filled in the application. What is not there, you have just feed and submit. Then bank statement verification, bank statement, underwriting, everything is there. GST, income tax return, everything is connected. You can think of that whether this happens automatically, yes, it happens automatically. And the new thing what we have yesterday done is face recognition also. That was not there. So you can go to the bank, just put your finger, your face will just हम लोग जो अभी airport
करते हैं
हम लोग जो यात्रा जो कर रहे हैं face recognition भी हो गया. That was the last request came from MSME that we want 100% digital. तो ये हुआ है. दूसरा एक इनिशिएटिव है गवर्नमेंट का ONDC, ओपन नेटवर्क डिजिटल कॉमर्स, आपने शायद सुना होगा. In open network digital commerce, we are coming up with lending app. So there you can have complete loan in 10 minutes. You don't go anywhere. 365 days, 24/7. Apply online. Everything is verified online. You have to sign in-app. Like on this particular date, this installment amount will be debited to my account. It will get credited to whosoever bank giving you loan. In-app you have to sign online. Digitally you have to sign agreement also. You don't have to go anywhere. They will check in 1 rupee a penny drop in your account. Every verification will be done automatically. Within 10 minutes maximum, amount will be credited to your account. ONDC has given 24 hours of time for bank if they want to do physical verification of person. So that is one product. Another product coming up is GST based loan, line of credit. So that should be also live next 2 months. Well, all APIs and everything are there with TS. So that is another area where we are working.
Great.
Customers are approaching to you for solving their problem, or you are identifying a problem and then giving the solution.
Sir, this ONDC is completely new platform. The Section 8 company created by Government of India. This is going to challenge Amazon.
So you are identifying a problem faced by the customer and then giving the solution, or the customer are approaching to you for solution.
No, in the banking, it's basically now more on the technology as well as the regulatory group. So we have new ideas, but NPCI, we are member of NPCI sandbox also, you can say. So new things, new ideas, we approach NPCI. NPCI also guide us, and they allow also to have new ideas. Basically, the last 10 years, NPCI is very active in taking the new ideas.
So I think sir was trying to ask, like, once you get established yourself, so then people start approaching you with their problems. Before you establish yourself, you need to reach out to them and identify training their customer needs, and then design product, and then implement, and then provide solutions. So once you are at that level, so people are always behind you to do something, because you have that scalability, you have that competencies, you have that bandwidth to do that. So coming to my next question, since you have an employee base of 400, and what sir has asked about right questions about attrition, then second about your customer base of 200 plus, I'm asking you about the retention. So on this two ground, your leadership style, your team, your clients, your internal customers, internal stakeholders, employees, and external stakeholder customers, government, how you have managed all this, and tell us in detail about managing people, managing clients, managing due diligence, compliances with government, and social interaction, whatever you are doing in society.
एक तो परिवार की तरह हमने सबके साथ रहे हैं. So it's more on the जो बचपन से आरएसएस से जुड़े हैं, संघ से जुड़े हैं, तो एक थोड़ी सी आत्मीयता जो बोलते हैं, जहाँ जाएंगे वहां रखते हैं. कस्टमर ऑल्सो ट्रीट यू वेल. अगर आप हमने हर बार every time we thought relationship is more important over the money. And in our case, typically, it's very difficult to tell the requirement. If you ask somebody to give requirement, and typically the challenge for SME is that whenever you go for asking money, sir, मेरा पैसा काम हो गया, मेरा पैसा दो. So they will tell you 10 different new requirements. Those are not the errors, but those are mostly the new requirements. And secondly, you do those 10 things, they'll come up with another 10 things. You don't ask money, then they will not tell you because their day-to-day work is going on. जैसे अभी हम लोग बैंक में भी काम करते हैं, तो आप मतलब हमारा चैलेंज ये आता है कि भाई स्टेशनरी का हमारा लाइव नहीं हुआ, मतलब आपका जो फिजिकल स्टेशनरी है वो लाइव नहीं हुआ, इसलिए वहां पे पेमेंट नहीं करें. तो ऐसे छोटे छोटे चीजें रहती है जो कि those are not important for them, and sometimes they also don't want to have them live. So that is also a challenge. So ऐसे होते हैं, लेकिन आप कैसे उसको रिएक्ट करते हो, उससे जनरली क्या होता है, शुरुआत में थोड़ा सा लोगों को लगता है कि भाई थोड़ा टाइट करो, लेकिन अगर आप सॉफ्ट रहे तो जनरली धीरे धीरे थिंग्स गेट बेटर. तो शुरुआत में हमको तकलीफ हुई, बट नाउ आई थिंक वी आर क्वाइट कंफर्टेबल. कस्टमर ऑल्सो नोज कि भाई ये अच्छे लोग हैं, अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं, विश्वास हो गया है, और किसी चीज के लिए ना नहीं बोलते हैं. सबसे बड़ी बात, अभी आरबीआई आप तो जानते हैं, आरबीआई हर साल बैंक में आती है तो नए नए रिपोर्ट्स मांगते हैं. सो वी आर नाउ बॉट व्हिच विल जनरेट रिपोर्ट विथ योर वॉइस कमांड. एलेक्सा जो है, हमने एलेक्सा बनाया. दिस इज द यूएसपी. वी आर टॉकिंग विद पीएसयू बैंक्स आल्सो, जहां ये प्रोडक्ट जहां भी लगेगा ये प्रोडक्ट. So you can tell कि I want recovery from NPA with column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4 arranged by this, and I want total at the bottom of this. It will generate you on fly entirely. So this is a new thing which we have come up.
So that's a good technology integration with whatever you people are working. Second thing most important about your team, people with whom you work, how good you are in retaining them, what are your initiative to keep them with yourself.
And one more adding to that, actually, one of the key problem with the organization is now retaining the human resources.
Yes.
You have gone public in March 2024. It has been more than a year's time now. Did you find that retaining the manpower becomes easy after you got listed?
अभी एग्जिस्टिंग लोगों के भी एक्सपेक्टेशन बढ़ जाते हैं, तो रिटेंशन थोड़ा चैलेंज है भी और नहीं. बिकॉज वी वर वेरी क्लियर फ्रॉम डे वन, जो भी हम लोग कर रहे हैं तो ट्रांसपेरेंट तो पहले से ही थे, उनके साथ भी थे, तो वो चैलेंज तो नहीं है. सेकेंडली, वी हैव ऑलवेज एनकरेज पीपल टू गो फॉर न्यू स्किल्स. मैं एक उदाहरण बताऊं, हमारा जो फर्स्ट एम्प्लॉय जो ऑफिस बॉय था, इज इंजीनियर टुडे. 10th फेल था वो, अभी he got 2 zeros on his salary. तो उसके कारण क्या, जो भी आता है, हम लोग हर इवन रिसेप्शनिस्ट भी हमारे यहाँ जो है थे आए हुए, वो भी आज रिसेप्शनिस्ट नहीं है. दे आर डूइंग सम टेस्टिंग वर्क, सम टेक्निकल वर्क. सो वी एनकरेज 2 से 3 साल के ऊपर एकदम लोएस्ट कैटेगरी का भी कोई रहेगा ऑफिस बॉय. अभी नाउ ऑफिस बॉय इज इलेक्ट्रिशियन. जो 2 साल पहले ऑफिस को बोला भी कुछ तो कर, आईटीआई तो कर, तो उसको वी हैव एनकरेज्ड हिम. नाउ इज इलेक्ट्रिशियन. तो ऐसा स्किल लोगों को अच्छा भी लगता है कि भाई कोई, एंड वी हैव पेड लाइक इवन फीस फॉर मेनी पीपल. इसमें कोई ये नहीं है कि somebody wants to have some skill, तो इवन प्राइवेट क्लासेस के भी हमने उनको फीस दी है. तो वो थोड़ा सा एक बॉन्डिंग हो जाता है कि भाई आई हैव लर्न समथिंग, और ओपननेस भी होता है कि भाई यहाँ सीखा हूँ तो
Attachment.
हाँ अटैचमेंट. और बहुत सारे लोग वापस आए हमारे,
Yes.
we had almost 25 people after listing coming back to company who had served earlier.
सॉफ्टवेयर कंपनी में इस सब की एक्सपेक्टेशन थोड़ी सी एम्प्लॉइज की बढ़ जाती है कि हम भी कुछ कंपनी की इक्विटी कंपनी हमको ऑफर करे सो दैट लॉन्ग टर्म में एक तो लॉयल्टी भी बनी रहती है और रिटेंशन भी।
तो हम लोग अभी ये साल प्लानिंग है सो
आपका जस्ट आपका ESOP सर अभी भी दिया हुआ आपने बिफोर लिस्टिंग ऑल्सो एम्प्लॉय में हैव टेकन इट?
हाँ मतलब 3-4 लोग थे जो की पोजीशंस पे थे
Right.
तो हमने फुल होके ही
इक्विटी दे दी।
ऑफर
हाँ दिए।
तो एक क्वेश्चन ऐसा था सबसे पहले तो
एम्प्लॉइज ने रिजर्व की कैसा कुछ परसेंटेज
नहीं
But normally when you go for any kind of a VC funding or institutional round, they will ask anywhere between 10 to 13% as an allocation to the ESOP pool. तो पहले आपको ESOP trust and the policy बनाना ही पड़ेगा आपको. That is to be pre-dilution. Pre-dilution. They don't want to come in post-dilution. So whatever the equity you get, you have to first allocate as a pool. भले आप employees को दो मत उस समय, but that is allocated to the employee pool. But it is allocated to employee pool. उसके बाद में जो भी investment आएगा उससे फिर dilution होगा.
सर एक क्वेश्चन ऐसा है थोड़ी देर पहले आपने कहा कि दे आर डेवलप्ड अ टेक जो जैसे इमेज लेंगे आधार और पैन या एक्सेट्रा डॉक्यूमेंट्स की so it will automatically extract the data from it and fill up the form and the required exempted will be filled by the user. तो सर मुझको ये पूछना था how it is different from OCR and is that a patentable tech you have developed or something?
No, it's similar to OCR.
Similar to OCR.
तो हम लोग हैंड रिटर्न भी रीड कर रहे हैं जैसे अभी आपका चेक है तो वी हैव अ चेक ट्रांसलेशन सिस्टम CTS है हमारा तो अभी इंडिया में चालू हो रहा है कि दिन में 4 बार क्लियरिंग जाएगा कंटिन्यूस क्लियरिंग आया है तो उसमें द चैलेंज वाज कि अभी नंबर ऑफ चेक्स हैज रिड्यूस्ड एंड इन द रूरल एरियाज वहां पे 4-5 चेक्स रहते हैं एक ब्रांच में और CTS स्कैनर जो है उसकी कॉस्ट 1 लाख रुपए है तो ये प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट था कि हाउ कैन वी सॉल्व दिस तो हम लोगों ने उसको मोबाइल बेस किया है सॉल्यूशन जिसमें आप 3 फोटो लो उसका और उसमें नीचे आप जो भी इट रीड्स all contents including name and you can edit something which is written by hand अगर आपको लगा कि ये ठीक नहीं है so then they can submit so even अभी allowed नहीं है कि check physical instruments is required in the bank but tomorrow like US if suppose government allows without physical instruments so our solution is ready so user end customer can do the same thing
So you might have seen now when we deposit check, then the check machine is there. You insert the check and even it is handwritten. Just the OCR they grab and then there is a first you need to approve all whether the things are correctly said written or not and that validation. Now AI is using very much because I belong to academia and corporate also. In academia now the valuation there's the biggest thing happening in valuation system is that the whosoever are valuator they just go on screaming like and because a lot of paper need to be evaluated so not everybody is reading everything so once it will go through AI then it will match whole alphabetical they will try to ascertain what A is look like what B is like and thereby it will be more perfect already answers is fed down they compare with that answer that is a discriminative AI and all that generate through and that way they will evaluate the paper.
So my question was that technology being 100% developed by your company or it was taken as part of the pool or some agent?
yeah we are taking some third party things also.
Right. So would you like to share any of the patentable technology your trust has developed since the inception?
Patentable thing was like DOS printing was there, but now no, it is not relevant.
This is 10 years ago.
Yeah. Because when we started at that time, dot matrix printers were very much there, and as you all know, printing on dot matrix printer was a challenge. So we have developed an application which used to print both sides. You go from A to B, from B to C, it comes back. So it will reverse print whatever to be printed. So that we developed that time, which was unique. एंड इट वाज अ डॉस प्रिंटिंग, जैसा आपका वर्ड स्टार पहले हुआ करता था,
Right.
तो वर्ड स्टार की स्पीड में आपको विंडोज में प्रिंटिंग मिलता था। वो एक चैलेंज था शुरुआत में, जिसका हमने सोल्यूशन निकाला। बाद में एक दूसरा भी चैलेंज था, जब विंडोज आया तो पीपल यूज्ड टू से मुझे इंटर से करना है सब कुछ, क्योंकि पहले इंटर चलता था हर चीज, टैब नोबडी यूज्ड टू यूज। तो वो भी हम लोगों ने किया था दैट टाइम, विंडोज एप्लीकेशन यूजिंग इंटर, जो स्क्रॉल करने का है। लेकिन वो भी किया जा सकता था पेटेंट, और उसमें कोई खास ये नहीं था।
रिसेंट में ऐसी कोई टेक्नोलॉजी आप डेवलप कर रहे हैं या जिस पे वर्क कर रहे हो which may go for patent such kind of product or development you are looking in the early future?
क्रेडिट इसी इंजन में कुछ काम कर रहे हैं, पर क्रेडिट इसी इंजन लॉट ऑफ पीपल आर हैविंग, सो आई डोंट थिंक इट कैन बी पेटेंटेड। लोग एआई यूज कर रहे हैं, तो रिस्क एनालिसिस ऑफ योर बैंकिंग एसेट्स, उसमें भी हम लोगों ने एआई यूज किया है। और ये जो बॉट मैं आपको बोला, डेटाबेस बॉट, उसका पेटेंट नहीं होगा, इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी राइट होगा, क्योंकि पेटेंट के लिए we need different kind of thing.
As you are a cash plus BS, so I would like to ask कि आप open हो for acquisitions or some kind of in the early future? क्योंकि
We have got lot of what we guys offers in the past. We thought we will have our own company.
no, not selling you, buying the
Acha, acquiring,
acquiring,
acquisition.
Can somebody come with to
Yes, yes.
have such kind of technology ना patentable technology लेके आपके पास आते हैं तो कैसे
We are looking for companies in UK where we can add to our, like you suppose somebody is having EFSI presence and they have some challenge in raising. We are looking for companies in UK.
and someone from the fintech of the DC company then
देसी कंपनी में तो we have done everything. अगर if something new
Unique
be added, unique, then it's required. Because if you look at the banking required, right from CKYC, VKYC to all NPCI products, we have everything. Reporting, up to reporting. So I don't think there is any value addition to bunch of our products.
It usually happens that when you're into a system and you have developed your product and your services, you find that new startup something coming with very unique idea, and you feel that they have something very clearly USP. You'd like to add them to your kitty so that you can grow. What he is trying to become a multinational company where you have a client base at very different level. You have a different target market wherein you can reach out and you can spread yourself. So I would like any more question
Yes,
for
sir.
Hemant sir?
एक जैसे हम लोगों को
Yes.
So I just wanted to ask, as he's managing a huge workforce of 400 people, is there any process set up for the appraisal of the employees? And if the appraisals are being done on, are they being benefited monitoring?
Yeah, there's a process of appraisal. You have quarterly appraisal for everybody. And we have like 2 levels up from in the working team. Generally, we have interviews every half year, like 2 quarters, we talk with the employee. Typically, at a senior level, like team lead and manager level, director will have regular interaction. Generally, we discuss and then give the what we say appraisal.
So they call MBO, management by objective. But usually I'm from HR and I already while interacting with, I told him like every organization provides kind of a hygiene factor. So your salary and the fringe benefits are always there. Something need to be a kind of motivator. Something need to reward recognitions, and that those things only are helpful for retaining employee. So they are able to retain employees. That is only indicator that they are doing all those things, and that is how they are able to scale up and grow, reach out. Any more?
मुझे एक कॉमन जो क्वेश्चन आता है कि जो आपके साथ शुरुआत में हुआ कि पैसे की जरूरत ही नहीं है, व्हाई शुड वी गो पब्लिक। तो यहाँ काफी बिजनेसेस है, बहुत लोग हैं जिनके बहुत अच्छे बिजनेसेस चल रहे हैं, ऑलरेडी ग्रोथ है, प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी भी है। तो एक क्वेश्चन आता है व्हाई शुड दे गो पब्लिक। सो शशिकांत जी एंड हेमंत जी, आप लोगों से एक क्वेश्चन है, सिंस यू हैव गॉन पब्लिक, यू हैव हैंडल्ड सो मेनी थिंग्स, व्हाट्स योर पर्सनल ऑनेस्ट ओपिनियन whether they should go public? Is there any benefit? Or क्या thinking, thought process, employee retentions, is that all these things get better, or they should go the जो generic growth है, in that way they should go. They should plan for it or they should not. Your personal views on that part.
Okay. So, I mean, I'll add to your question the different perspectives, because it has to also do with the Indian economy per se.
Yes.
Why it has to do with the Indian economy? We don't have a mega acquisition वाले लोग नहीं है अपने पास. Actions किसके हुए? Flipkart and all those kind of things. So
Yes.
these are all from the people from outside. So if you are moving up the ladder in terms of your scale, right? Then at one end, you are also trying to give exit to the investors. If it's a completely family-owned business, that's a very different structure. Then we'll come to that part. That piece has a very different piece. But many a times you are raising money as an investor from the investors in the institutional as well as the angel investors. You need to also give them a path to exit, right? Because they are in for the game with certain kind of expectations. Now, in a given scenario, where this was the problem 3 years back in the Indian system, all these startups scale. Though the business model will not get into that because that's a different part of the story of profitability and number of people and all those kind of the, unit economics is not in the favor of still making loss per customer. Will not get it because people solve the questions very differently. So the question was, now the people, they got 2 or 3 rounds of the investments, right? They got the seed investment, they got a VC investment, early stage, late stage investment. So there are people and their horizon is also fixed. They cannot wait because if the VC fund is investing in a startup or in any company, they will come with a particular horizon, right? No, they will come with the horizon itself.
Yes.
There is a life which is described by the SEBI. कि भाई आपका ये fund है, fund number 2 from the Bloom Ventures, you are supposed to be operated for 8 + 2 maximum. 8 is like your period of the window, after which if you apply, we'll give you extension for 2 years. In the 8 years, kind of a time frame again, the problem is how do they work? Because they also take money from somebody else, so they are also in pressure.
Yes.
Right, so the Bloom will take their money from the institutional angle investors and then take money from the GPs, general partners, and they'll take the money from LPs like us. और उनका पैसा आता है and they give a thesis कि आपका पैसा आप डाल दो. This is the 8-year fund. This is our thesis. Whether it's a deep tech thesis or a SaaS thesis, और जो भी आपका जो thesis है उसके हिसाब से AI का thesis अभी बहुत बड़ा चल रहा है. 8 साल का फंड है, 8 साल के फंड में उनको 30% IRR देना पड़ता है. 30% IRR देना है तो पहला 4 साल तो इन्वेस्टिंग है, आखिरी का 4 साल हार्वेस्टिंग है. तो इन्वेस्टमेंट पीरियड तो 4 ही साल का हो गया. अब अगर मैंने ये इस कंपनी में पैसा डाला हुआ है, if I have invested in this company in the 4th year, example wise, my fund is going to close after 4 years. So I have to square up my positions. As a Bloom, I would like to square up my position. Layering चल रहा था मार्केट में, SEBI is not getting stake.
Yes.
ये लोग होशियार थे कि ब्लूम वाला बोलता था मैंने बने तो 1A निकाला, तो 1A निकाला तो फिर 2A निकाला और इसकी जो 1 की पोजीशन है वो 2 बाय कर रहा है, जो बची हुई पोजीशन है. So that टेक्निकली ये 1 खत्म हो गया, पर बची हुई जो पोजीशन जो निकाल नहीं पाया वो 2 ने खरीद लिया. तो 2 करते करते 3 3 4 करते X Y ऐसे उनकी सीरीज चलते रहे. बट व्हाट शुड आई डू नाउ? ब्लूम इनके पे बैठा हुआ है, जस्ट टेकिंग एग्जांपल. ये अभी बॉस मैं 4 साल हो गया, मेरा फंड क्लोज हो रहा है. Similarly, there are other investors who are sitting in there at this point. And there's nothing compulsion per se. Now here at this point in time, the first, since the mega acquirers are not present, right? अगर मेगा एक्वायरर्स अगर यूएस जैसी सिस्टम अगर मैच्योर सिस्टम रहती कि जहां पे एट एवरी स्टेज you have an acquisition offer available, right? Acquisition offer available, very oiled machinery वहां पे डेवलप यहाँ पे है. So now the only choice for them, last game बीच वाला गेम तो इन्वेस्टमेंट पे चल रहा है, मतलब लास्ट लैडर तो होगा. 2 ही इवेंट है, एक तो आप M&A में चले जाओ, या सेकंड इवेंट इज यू आर गेटिंग इनटू द लिस्टिंग. अगर आप लिस्टिंग चले जाते हो तो at that point in time you are given an option for these people to exit. Promoter तो locked in रहेगा, वो तो lock in period का चलेगा, but they will. So now for From that particular perspective, that is one. Indian economy के हिसाब से, because there are not mega acquisition buyers, there are not many options available to us. या फिर आपको डिस्काउंट में बेचना पड़ेगा माल. अब वो डिस्काउंट में माल 4 साल के बाद में, जब मैं IRR प्रॉमिस कर चुका हूँ, मैंने एक सिस्टम इसमें इन्वेस्ट करा है और 8 साल के बाद में मेरे को ये एग्जिस्ट नहीं दे रहा है, मैं क्या करूँ एज इन्वेस्टर? जो भी मेरा वैल्यूएशन होगा, मैं किसी और के पास में जाऊंगा, बगड़े सर के पास जाऊंगा, बोला बस ये माल है, अभी 30% डिस्काउंट मिलेगा, मेरी जान बचाओ. मुझे तो क्लोज कर लेगा एंड बुकिंग अ लॉस.
Yes.
On and indirectly, and my IRR is going down. And because my IRR is going down, my next round का मुझे रेस करना है, वो भी प्रॉब्लम है. Because मैं नेक्स्ट राउंड किसके बेसिस पे रेस करूंगा? तो मेरा पहला फंड का जैसे MF म्यूचुअल फंड में चलता है कि उसकी भी हिस्ट्री चलती है, जो फंड मैनेजर है कि भाई तुम्हारा कितना रिटर्न चला है. अब ये लोग जब फंड 1Y में चल रहा है, अभी 1, 2, 3, 4 चल रहा है, अभी 1X 1Y में चल रहा है. ब्लू स्टार्टेड इन 2012, तो अभी 2025 में 13 साल में उसके 6 फंड्स आ गए. तो लोग तो हमेशा पूछेंगे लास्ट 5 ने कितना दिया बॉस, whether it gave 3x returns, 4x returns और 5x और 11x returns. 1 करोड़ आपने लगाया, दिया कितना? तो टिपिकली देखिए 1:4. 1 करोड़ डालो, 4 करोड़ मिलेगा या 3 करोड़ मिलेगा. That is the kind of thing. Some have given up to 9x. Some funds have given up to 9x. But अगर ये मेरा फंड घुस जाता है because some star companies are not giving me exit, then is a problem. And therefore they will push in. अभी चाह के भी नहीं कर सकता है because I have board seats also. So अभी इनके चाहने की भी मतलब ये ज्यादा नहीं है, because by the time you are taking 2 or 3 major investments, you are already giving the board seats.
Yes.
And the observer तो ठीक है, but board seats controlling, not exactly controlling, but board seats तो आ जाती है.
Yes.
तो ये तो इनको बोलेंगे बस तुम्हारा तो ठीक है, तुम्हारा फैमिली बिजनेस है, मैं मेरा क्या करूं, मेरा तो अभी 8 साल में निकलना है, मेरे को बाद 4 ही साल बचा है, मेरे को तो निकलना है. That is the one piece. The second piece which already plays out in terms of this particular game is that moment you have that, because this thing was discussed in the funds, because I am part of the funds, so investor meet में ये बताते हैं वो लोग कि हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं हमारे पोर्टफोलियो कंपनी के साथ. And then this was the point which you raised. उसी के अराउंड आता है ये point, because moment you are giving you are planning for the IPO route, then so what happens in that, it's not a financial event, it's a trust event. तो trust नाम ही इनका है, तो but it's a trust event. Trust event सबका trust बढ़ जाता है. Yes. Employees का trust बढ़ जाता है, because your ESOPs and all those things have now started becoming liquid and all those kind of things. Suppliers का ये बढ़ जाता है कि इसके regulations है भाई, ये इसमें फ्रेमवर्क में ऑपरेट कर रहे हैं, इनका काफी सारा रिपोर्टिंग है, पब्लिक में परफॉर्मेंस हम देख रहे हैं, हर क्वार्टर में समझ रहा है, ऊपर जा रहा है, नीचे जा रहा है, तो आई कैन एक्सटेंड माय क्रेडिट लाइंस, देख सकता हूँ कि ऐसा नहीं है. सो दैट आल्सो हेल्प्स. कस्टमर्स वो भी देख रहे हैं. सो दीज आर द एडवांटेजेस कि कस्टमर भी देख रहे हैं कि हर क्वार्टर में क्या परफॉर्मेंस जा रहा है. चलो मल्टी ईयर डील में साइन करूँ कि नहीं करूँ, कि ये अंडर चले जाएंगे मालूम नहीं. तो ये मुझे अगर ट्रेजेक्टरी 2-3 क्वार्टर का ट्रस्ट दिखा रहा है, तो मुझे वो भी एक फायदा है. प्लस डिस्कशन नाउ, मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंटली the discussion with your future great players and the hires you want to hire from the market, because you are a private limited company, nobody knew, right? And now because of the liquidity event which has happened, you can hire the CXOs or those kind of the people, because now they know it's a complete transparent system, they have tracked the record. Now the discussion shifts from what is the salary to what is the future.
Yes.
तो सैलरी का डिस्कशन निकल जाता है, because salary is the current state. अंदर के जो है वो काफी दिन तक रुके, तो वो तो पूछेंगे इनको, बॉस इवेंट हो गया मेरा क्या. बट वो तो एक सिचुएशन में हैंडल करना ही है.
Yes.
बट द सेकंड सिचुएशन व्हेन यू वांट टू हायर पीपल,
Yes.
व्हेन यू वांट टू हायर पीपल, दे आर इन देयर फॉर द फ्यूचर. उनको तो आज तो मांगेगा नहीं. नाउ हियर यू कैन गेट वेरी स्मार्ट पीपल
Absolutely.
इन द टीम, बिकॉज यू आर ऑफरिंग देम अ फ्यूचर ओवर हियर. सो ये जो पूरी चीजें उसके साथ में आती है, प्लस it gives you a little bit of a buffer in terms of if you want to get into the adjacency of the markets, in terms of it requires a, for example, he's now doing geography expansion, right? So the first would be the geography expansion and the next would be the market dominance. That's the path every company will take. Now he is going for the next stage of the growth, which is like the market expansions. some of those market expansions, if he wants to be an aggressive player, depends upon the style of the player.
Yes.
Promoter style. Many times the promoter themselves become a limitation to their own company.
Yes, absolutely.
Their exposure and their risk-taking ability.
Yes.
But the right amount of money is available. And if you want to create in this kind of a competition, then there is a fierce competition. In their sector, it is a fierce competition. The game is going to be shifting, and which is already shifting from product to a distribution. How fast you can reach out to the customer, how fast you can escape velocity and create a dominance player. If you want to create that escape velocity in a shorter amount of time, you need access to the capital.
Yes.
So it's a style of the play also. So it's an individual player also. So I hope I have touched the various points on why I would,
Yes.
About the second aspect where you said that the family owns the company, and about that aspect, would you like to highlight where it's closely held by the family?
Correct. So ये इनका प्रॉब्लम था तो आप थोड़ा बात करो मैं भी से आता हूँ इनका पूरा फैमिली वाला ही केस था
I'll just shift to that because you know that one of the answer was that since they went to the public, the employee also returned back to company. So that is how you get visibility. I'm coming to you, sir, now. Before you say something and you talk about something and people ask,
इनको फैमिली का बता रहा हूँ
अच्छा सर
स्टोरी शेयर करते हैं उनकी एक्चुअली
आप क्यों हर बार का प्रॉब्लम एनएससी से लेके अभी तक पूछ रहे हैं जवाब ही नहीं पा रहे हैं पैसा रिस्की हो गया
सर
चलिए ये विजिबिलिटी सबसे बड़ा इम्पोर्टेंस सर ने अभी बताया यू गेट विजिबिलिटी ट्रस्ट हमारे कस्टमर्स का हमारे ऊपर बहुत था आज भी है एम्प्लॉयज का भी था आज भी है पर जो विजिबिलिटी सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट जो प्रेजेंस विजिबिलिटी एक्सपांशन और थोड़ा सा एक कंफर्ट जैसे बोलते हैं ना जैसा कि हम लोग थोड़ा सा सर ने कहा कि अंडरडॉग्स बोलो या थोड़ा अपना मराठी में हम कहते हैं कि चादर पौन पाए पसरा कंजर्वेटिव इन स्पेंडिंग हर चीज में मिडिल क्लास है
इधर का वो प्रॉब्लम है ये आजकल कमाने की औकात अलग है खर्चा करने की औकात अलग है
तो थोड़ा सा वो रहने के कारण हम लोगों ने सोचा कि जो भी हमको इनपुट्स मिले ओके लेट्स गो फॉर एक्सपेंशन सो एक्सपेंशन हमको दूसरा सवाल आया है जैसे आपने कहा कि सभी ने पूछा जितने भी इन्वेस्टर्स आए why don't you have asset of physical fixed asset of more than 12 crores on balance sheet you can take loan why you want equity तो ये एक सवाल था फिर जैसे सर हमारे मेंटर है सर ने बोला कि आप जरा उसको अलग तरीके से आंसर दो तो वैसा हमने उनको जवाब दिया and everybody appreciated that कि when you want to grow not only within the product but also जो विजिबिलिटी है वो बढ़ जाती है ट्रस्ट भी बढ़ जाता है जैसे PSU बैंक्स में when we say we are listed company बहुत सारी चीजें तो आती नहीं no question
ये पार्ट है ना एग्जैक्टली द फैमिली बिजनेस के लिए भी when you are growing the trust factor because now you become suddenly from opaque company to a transparent company everything is on the table because you're all compliances and regulations and at the same time 6 months में 3 महीने हर क्वार्टर में जो आपको करना पड़ता है ऑटोमेटिकली जो स्टेक होल्डर का जो कॉन्फिडेंस है वो काफी बढ़ जाता है be it employees be it your customer be it your suppliers everybody and that stands big in terms of even when you are going for the export and all those kind of things I have seen personally it was not a family business but when you are going for the collaborations outside now they don't know who you are you might be very good in your own stuff and you are definitely that's not an issue but for them to trust what are the proxies for you and these are the beautiful proxies which can be leveraged in terms of letting them know yes this is completely an open transparent system and they can trust us and they know for sure that you are a regulator there is a regulator sitting there तो आपके ऊपर नहीं है पूरा का पूरा रेगुलेटर है कुछ भी गड़बड़ हुआ तो रेगुलेटर ध्यान देगा तो एक एक्स्ट्रा लेयर ऑफ कॉन्फिडेंस आ जाता है
So what I think, Prashant ji was asking, no, somebody who's having a family business is holding all equity to themselves only. diluting liquidity. It is coming with the two things, advantages or disadvantages. When you become, listed and you open up your equity to dilute your equity. So you get advantage something and you at the same time lose some control over the system, control over the things which you can want to run on your own way. Because as you said, investors are coming, they are also on board. And similarly, even many things happen. So if we were done with him, I would like to introduce you and would like to take further from there.
Introduce करके आप
I would like to tell the audience, our audience, like you are a serial entrepreneur with 42 years of experience. You co-founded Babyverse. I have a question because you Happyeaters.ai, that is your 10th venture. I wanted to know about that. You're an angel investor with more than 30 startups, limited partner with 6 points. Blooms, you have taken one name out of it. General partners with Singapore-based fund, that is a thick weight. Your member investment committee of the Maharashtra Innovation Technology Development Funds, which is 200 crore funds. And you are a managing director. Again, that one achievement which is there of you headed the Global Logic and then Global you raise. He is talking about 400. You have managed 4,000 engineers in India, and then it was acquired by the Hitachi into 9.6 billion. I would like to know that story also from you. And for that, you will be awarded Global Nagpur Award. You're also with VNIT and many such innovative courses, board of director. You're funding chairman for Alumni Association, and as an academician, you just share the thing. See the commitment that what he was having a class at VNIT. He finished that class, and since we wanted to start at 5, he had rushed to the 5:10 here. So that is your commitment to the our region is very much blessed that we have a people like who are there to help the startup companies and entrepreneur in growing their in their journey to grow up. So we'd like to get from you about what you would like to share about the startups and entrepreneurs, what they should do, do's and don'ts, and.
अरे भाई बहुत बड़ा टॉपिक
In short, we can have one more day, one more session with
because
you.
entrepreneurship itself is like a so what I will do is I will share some of the interesting experiences in the Global Logic, because Global Logic ultimately was acquired for 75,000 crores. And the journey started similar. Some people started their company in the US. फिर इंडिया में उनका ऑपरेशन था ग्लोबल लॉजिक का. Then I had my operations of Lab and Technologies in Nagpur. So they were 700 people, we were 300 people, 350 people. And then in 2006 we merged together and formed Indus Logic नाम था उसका, Global Logic का. And Global Logic then ultimately went to multiple places and all those kind of things. But some of the learnings over there were very interesting in terms of like how they when we were like close to 1,000 people, we created a plan of 15,000 people, and how that planning was done. And वो जो planning के जो बिठाए थे, that planning was not only a kind of a strategic plan, but it was how it was quantified in terms of the objectives for every quarter. Plan 5 साल का था. But if we are saying that we are going to be a global player, what do we mean by global player? So which means that we will have our geography presence in 4 continents. तो फिर ये quarter में एक continent हम जाएंगे ही जाएंगे. If we are saying to be our thought leaders in the OPD space, the outsourced product development space, what do you mean by that? See, it means that in the Gartner analysis, we should have the term introduced there, product engineering or OPD term, if it is not there. And if it is there, then we should have at least 4 articles coming in the Fortune or the Garden. And at least by the end of the second year, we should be in the rightmost quadrant, at the topmost. So it was how it was quantified. Each objective was decided as a kind of like a 5-year plan. But usko saal mein thoda, saal mein thodne ke baad mein usko they took it to quarter. Or quarter ke hisab se the tracking was very, very serious. So tracking was like, the CEO and managing director, unlike in India, they would all sit over there because I was managing the India piece, but there were of course, and I've seen the board. I made sure that I am part of the US board also because I wanted to see कि ये बड़े-बड़े लोग सोचते कैसे हैं because अपन तो नागपुर में बैठे हुए तो ये सिकोया कैसे सोचता है इन्हीं कैसे सोचता है बड़े लोग के बड़े स्केल पे ये लोग how they really operate the board and in that even the whenever the monthly board का तो छोड़ो board के मैं बात में आता हूँ even the monthly tracking is a very transparent tracking. Only two colors are given to you, red and green, no yellow in between. If objective meet हुआ नहीं हो finish. And the first presentation is to the appraisal of the CEO. CEO every month has to come here. सभी लोग हम लोग सभी but पहला CEO ने आना चाहिए और CEO पहले उसका डैशबोर्ड खुलेगा कि ये मेरा प्रॉमिस था ये मेरा है और उसने बोला कि ये हो चुका है anywhere from the audience can say नहीं हुआ boss Peter you're wrong. This is red. Either you prove that it is green. If it is not green, there is no gray area. Yellow वगैरह कुछ नहीं. It is in the kind of the that much of the tracking of every person in the organization. Every presentation जब हम लोग करते थे in the Global Logic Times, it's a complete transparency with the employees also. The first slide has to be what we achieved in the last quarter, last month. Second slide has to what we did bad. Irrespective of what stature you are, second slide has to be what you failed at. करना ही पड़ता है. Otherwise, you cannot earn the trust of the employees because you are not gods. Likely to commit a mistake. The tracking is so straight. हमारा हम board का use नहीं करते यहाँ पे कि I was at the part of the board which I was not supposed to be because operations में is very clear in the US boards. It's very clear. The only one person from the executive team will be on the board, which is a CEO, classical. The rest of the people would be from the our chairman of the board was the president of Ericsson, then the DFJ ka, then Sequoia ka, uske jo VCs hai, and some nice people. Board is very strong. And believe me, after the presentation of the CEO is done, the CEO has to sit outside. And in that 30 minutes, the board decides इसका करना है आगे कि नहीं करना है यहाँ तक वो टाइट रखते हैं बिल्कुल बिल्कुल टाइट लिश I can tell you one example just giving you some stories as to how these companies operate because I never seen that in my life in terms of the board meetings are a very kind of a strict kind of a meetings यानी अगर board अगर आ रहा है तो मुझे as a managing director of India I have to prepare 1 month in advance and I have to prepare the storyline I have to prepare what I'm going to show in the presentations and all those kind of things. And that has to be approved by the both president and CEO. So it has to go back and forth. क्योंकि जो मैं present कर रहा हूँ, मेरे ऊपर president and CEO बैठा हुआ है, and उसकी इज्जत निकल जाएगी कि भाई board को मैंने इंडिया में लाया, and this is the what these people are present. We did all those kind of things. The board came in, all these people were tense, and then we started presenting. और हमारा I'll not name the center. उसने numbers में बताया. ये मेरा प्रेजेंटेशन हो गया सेंटर हेड जो है हमारे अलग अलग सेंटर्स बिकॉज वी हैव सो मेनी सेंटर्स एक सेंटर हेड का चल रहा था एंड ही सेड आवर एम्प्लॉय स्ट्रेंथ इज 450 एंड वी आर डूइंग दिस काइंड ऑफ जो कुछ बोल रहा था एक बोर्ड वाले ने जस्ट पॉइंट किया ऐसा वेट यू आर रिटन 430 हियर ओह सॉरी 450 दैट इज इट नेक्स्ट डे वाज फाइन he was just fine. How can in the front of the board you can make a mistake of 20? बोर्ड के सामने क्या बोर्ड इतना टाइट करके रखते हैं वो लोग इतना गवर्नेंस उनका इतना टाइट है पूरा का पूरा then some of the examples would be they use those kind of the tactics and those tactics where किसी भी अच्छे आदमी को उनको अगर हायर करना है सीनियर लेवल का हायर तो deliberately we used to call them to our quarterly meetings जहाँ पे सब लोग झगड़ते हैं आपस में ऑपरेशन मार्केटिंग वाला सेल्स के नाम से चिल्लाएगा सेल्स वाला टेक्नोलॉजी वाले से चिल्लाएगा कि भाई तुमने काम बराबर नहीं किया इसलिए ऐसा हुआ ये प्रोसेस में गड़बड़ है वो प्रोसेस में गड़बड़ है एंड दे यूज्ड टू मेक श्योर दैट दे विल प्रोस्पेक्टिव अगर मेरे को प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ एनी पर्टिकुलर यूनिट अगर हायर करना है या टेक्नोलॉजी वाला बंदा हायर कर रहा है तो हम लोग उसको मीटिंग में बुलाते थे द ओनली पर्पस वाज टू श्योर दैट वी आर ट्रांसपेरेंट वी आर नॉट द डेमिगॉड्स बट दैट वाज अ टैक्टिक ही यूज्ड टू गेट द गुड पीपल बिकॉज़ दे सेड ओके दीस आर ट्रांसपेरेंट पीपल दे आर शोइंग दैट these are the kind of things. Coming back to the story of the HR, we used to do 2 increments per year, initial days. And then the cost really started going up. And then, you have to operate like a pyramid. The pyramid of the Infosys is like this. So very few people at the top, and very broad base of the young people. That's the kind of a structure where the Infosys operates. The global logic of the world, because we are the product engineering companies, we require senior people. उनका average age bottom में 2 से 3 साल का होता है, हमारा 5 से 7 साल का. So we operate like this. We don't operate like this. So we have to operate very tight ship. But बीच में ये salaries बढ़ते चले गए, and then it started bulging in the between. Right? तो अपना जो middle age का problem होता है तो बीच वाला जो part है. And that's where clearly, we use the 9-box theory in terms of making sure that how each of our employees, in each center or each geography, this was done at a center level, this was done at the geography level. So 9-box is the high performance and high competency. तो ये वाला जो टॉप मोस्ट बॉस है तो पूरा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन आपको उसमें बिठाना पड़ता है. उसका परसेंटेज जो है कि टॉप मोस्ट राइट कॉर्नर कैनॉट हैव मोर देन 2%. कैनॉट है, तुम्हारा कितना भी चेहता हो कुछ भी हो, वो जो ऊपर वाला बॉक्स है सबसे strongest box cannot have more than 2% because this is an exceptionally high caliber people. And similarly, you have to map that organization. And then we made sure the top के जो 3 boxes है, one is the topmost box, the rightmost, उसके बाजू के 3. These are paid 25% more than in the market. Straight decisions. We said कि बस ये जो हमारे stars हैं, ये stars को we have to be a capitalistic in the manner in terms of if these people are competent and also they are working hard, then this need to be protected from the market. So that particular thing, literally it was a psychological thing in terms of like, otherwise the people were used to kind of a 2 increments, say हर 6 महीने में increment में दे रहे थे. We came to a point where the organizational development expert जो आया था उसने बोला था साल में एक ही बार करेंगे और बॉटम वाले को increment देंगे ही नहीं. जो परफॉर्म नहीं कर रहा है उसको देंगे ही नहीं. And we were all like, how can this happen? अपने साथ में लोग चले हुए हैं, all those kind of things, so इनके साथ में बराबर नहीं होगा, nothing doing, and the company really started performing well. We were close to like in terms of our EBITDA margins, we were doing it like close to 8 to 9, and we were going for a public. So the public thing was going to come in, and we were operating at 8 to 9% of the EBITDA margin. Labor margin चल रहा था हमारा almost like 40-50% labor margin पे game चल रहा था. Then I was the managing director, and I was given a mandate कि boss आपको इसको अभी IPO जाना है या फिर acquire होना है, all those kind of things. तो इसको अभी you have to make sure that your cost and everything are in control and your margins are in a good shape, because cost arbitrage तो इंडिया भी मिलने वाला है. बाकी बाहर के कंट्रीज में हमारा we had Argentina center, we had UK centers, we had Chile, we had Ukraine के 4 centers and all those kind of things London में था. And that's where this particular thing really helped us in terms of efficiently managing our workforce. And that's where we decided कि boss इसको ये अभी consistently इसको आगे लेके जाएंगे. So we started increasing our EBITDA from 9% to almost like 17 to 18% on a consistent basis. 17-18% में ये करने के बाद भी we kept a headroom for the IPO. Because जब IPO करेंगे कोई भी अगर IPO करेगा तो headroom रखना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि इन्वेस्टर तो उस दिन इन्वेस्ट कर रहा है, उसको अपसाइड दिखना चाहिए. So we kept a headroom of 2 to 3%. बोला अपना 21 तक तो जाने का गेम तो क्लियर है, 18 का गेम लेके चलते हैं. 18 अगर हम कंसिस्टेंटली 2 क्वार्टर अगर देते हैं परफॉर्मेंस, तो we are up for the game for the acquisition. And it literally happened. The Apex came in. दोनों टाइम ऐसे हुआ. We were supposed to go to the IPO in Indian markets, and at that time Apex came in, and Apex said, lock, stock, barrel, will offer you the money. And the deal was like, in terms of the multiplier, they acquired the company. And then the people were given the stock options and all those kind of. The next one was the again the SEC filing one. Prepared the documents for the SEC filing, though I was not part of that. SEC filing was done. We were supposed to go to the IPO, and in that point, Hitachi came in, and Hitachi said that boss, we are the digital, we are the hardware arm. We are very strong in the hardware. We want a digital arm which can do this particular piece, and you are strong. It's almost like 15 to 20 years old people with the strong EBITDA margins and all those kind of things. Market will give you like 6 times multiple of your revenue. So we were probably going to get, maximum. अगर हम चले जाते तो 4 to 5 times अगर हमको with a 1 billion kind of a run rate at that point in time, we would have got 5 to 6 times from our IPO markets. तो 5 बिलियन का ऑफर तो मार्केट से मिलने वाला था, मिल भी जाता था. Itachi came on the table and they gave, we give you cash 9.6 billion. So 9.6 times the market, no, our run rate. So the market favors the scale and multiple. So for that scale, you will get the multiple. Otherwise, typical IT services, if any company wants to go to the any kind of acquisition at this particular point in time, the market is paying 1 to 1.2 times the revenue. So whatever is the revenue today, unless you are in an exceptional space, which is like a kind of a very deep take or something which is very unique, which is very cordoned off, and you have this thing. तो वहाँ पे आपको 2 times revenue मिलेगा. उससे ज़्यादा market में देता नहीं. Market is very serious. 1 time revenue, 15 times EBITDA, 20 times net profit. Standard game.
EBITDA 15 times.
हाँ. और net profit का 20 times. Net profit जितना होगा उसका 20 times दे market, और उसके बाद में unique play है तो आपको 1.5 times extra देते हैं, 2 times. Scale play है so we'll give you again 2 times. And that's how the acquisitions would happen in this particular place. So there are a lot many stories in terms of how these big companies operate, how they decided which are the matrix was clearly specified in terms of the planning. In terms of these are the domains in which we are offering. These are the kind of the technology in which we are our offerings are. This matrix 9 3x3 9 का matrix पूरा बन चुका था. This particular each box has to be expanded to 9 again. Okay, what are the adjacencies you are going to capture, which are you are going to acquire, and which is like the competencies you are going to acquire. तो कुछ आप internally grow करोगे कि ये हम ऊपर में grow करेंगे और ये हमारे इसमें नहीं है, but this is what we are going to acquire. So how the strategy was made, we were classical, just 2 minutes. So we were classical story कि हम लोग software development, अब सभी लोग तो software development कर रहे हैं, ये भी कर रहे हैं, Infosys भी कर रहा है. What is so different in that? Yes. So we created our own plan in terms of like we are only product development company. So we only do product. We don't get into ERP implementation. We don't get into call center. We are only the product development company, but we are very strong in the engineering and technology. So we said, so our roadmap was very created. So we said we are the engineering company. We are software talent, very hardcore software talent, senior people we bring in. Any product you write, we were working with 200 product companies. बाद में आप Apple's को देख लो, Google को देख लो, Avid का देख लो, Metronics का देख लो. Many of the products we are developed. Global. अभी भी नागपुर में भी कुछ प्रोडक्ट्स जो चल रहे हैं, Metronics का जो इंसुलिन पंप सॉफ्टवेयर है, पूरा प्रोडक्ट इज डेवलप्ड एट नागपुर. मशीन टू मशीन कम्युनिकेशन ऑफ और क्राइसलर मोटर जो यूएस में चल रहा है, उसका प्रोडक्ट डेवलपमेंट पूरा यहाँ पे हो रहा है. Point was, we said we were only doing the software piece. Then we said, नहीं boss, इस software piece को change करना पड़ेगा. So we said, नहीं software के साथ में software का support तो हमको लाना पड़ेगा. हमने software support लाया. नहीं फिर software का globalization हमको लाना पड़ेगा because we are operating in multiple geographies. तो globalization का effort हमको लाना पड़ेगा. नहीं ये करते करते नहीं हमको तो फिर ये इसका जो UI UX जो product का design है, जहाँ से story चालू होती है. Because people will just write one line as a kind of his idea on कि ये product मुझे बनाना है. उसके बाद ये पूरा UI UX पूरा game up. So then we said we should have UI UX, but हमारे पे तो capability नहीं थी because we are classically a software firm. So we said we want a UI UX firm also. फिर UI UX लिया, software development लिया, support लिया, globalization लिया. Then we said a lot of products will require content. Because a lot of जैसे Google. Google is a content play. Google का most of the curation जो map पे और news पे आता था, the curation was done by our team, right? So we required the expertise on the content because how the transition was completely planned that we are here in terms of our offering as a software product services, only software stream, how we should become complete life cycle of right from UX to complete content, पूरे cycles. और फिर कौन से हमारे पास में है, कौन से हम सीखेंगे और कौन से हम एक्वायर करेंगे और किस प्लान के तहत एक्वायर करेंगे so that we have a global presence wherever even the sun sets or sun rises, we should be 24/7 present to our client in terms of the offering and how we should bring. Ultimate position क्या था हमारा? Our position बहुत ग्लोबलाइजेशन का was a very interesting position. इसे कैसे हम differentiate कैसे करेंगे? ये बात भी आगे चल के तकलीफ में आने वाली है. People also will develop this kind of competence. Right. So how we are going to develop? So the plan was made in 2008 itself. Okay, we will be present in this many geographies. Now we have almost like in 18 countries. Now what we do, and because we are working on the product companies, our pitch to product companies जिनके साथ में हम नया काम कर रहे हैं या ग्लोबलॉजिक कर रहा है, वो बोलता है हम आपको मार्केट के न्यूएंसेस बताएंगे साहब, वहां पे क्या चलता है, वहां पे क्या नहीं चलता। वी नो कि ये मार्केट में ये चलता है, ये मार्केट, बिकॉज हमारे पास 200 कंपनी तो पर ईयर हम काम करते, तो ऐसे हमारे पास 10 साल का एक्सपीरियंस है। हमारे पास में कौन सा टेक्नोलॉजी, कौन से टाइप का पीपल आपको कौन से सेक्टर में कहाँ पे चाहिए, उसका नॉलेज बेस हमारे पास है। एंड देयरफॉर वी क्रिएटेड अ प्लान व्हिच इज कॉल्ड एज अ वेलोसिटी। और वो प्लान के हिसाब से वी सेड that we are your trusted partner at a C level. So we never pitched to engineering managers, vice president. We went up to the C level because we bought that intelligence now layer to that C level. Okay, how we could be partner to your global rollout of the products. And we bring in that intelligence जो आपके पास आज नहीं है, हमारे पास में पहले से। And because of that, and we have created एक जिसका नाम भी दिया था वो नहीं अच्छा ही था बट हमने उसको एक नाम दिया था, उसका नाम है वेलोसिटी प्लेटफॉर्म। और वो वेलोसिटी प्लेटफॉर्म हमने ऐसा डिजाइन किया था कि सी लेवल को हम बता देते कि भाई हमने आपके साथ में एंगेजमेंट चालू करी, एंगेजमेंट चालू करते समय आप यहाँ पे, हम यहाँ पे आपकी कॉम्पिटेंसी से विच इज कॉल्ड एज स्पाइडर मैप, आपने काफी लोगों ने देखा होगा। तो स्पाइडर मैप्स में 8 वेक्टर्स में पूरा मैप करके दिए, दिस इज द इनिशियल स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट ऑफ द स्पाइडर मैप विथ यू, right? This is our engagement start. Every quarter we will demonstrate that on 8 vectors we are progressing and this spider map is becoming more and more circular. यानी पहले आड़ा टेढ़ा रहता है कि वेक्टर में कम है, दूसरे वेक्टर में ज्यादा है। Now it start. So we will demonstrate that by having us as a partner, how you are growing, how we are adding value, because these are subjective matters, right? हम value add करेंगे, we are trusted partner. These are good words to have, but how can we measure? So we gave them a measurement tool also. And the discussions were very straight then. We never sold to engineering managers, never sold to any company. We created our direct access path to the CEO. And that's where we started cracking the deals, which were like 300 people, 500 people, 800 people at a one store and multi-year engagement. Even Nagpur में, not many people know, जो Reliance का जो मुकेश भाई का पूरा हैंडसेट का काम है, पूरा होम स्क्रीन का पूरा काम 250 लोग के साथ में पूरा नागपुर में, ये पूरा का पूरा यहाँ पे बना हुआ है, पूरा का नागपुर में, because these were multi-year engagements we had, and we bought in that kind of expertise. We said we are working with Verizon, we are working with Rogers, we are working with AT&T, we are working with Sprint. We have a lot of that expertise, and we can tell you beforehand कि क्या नहीं होने वाला, तो हम लोग consultative mode में भी आएंगे। और वहां से वो multi-year contract in terms of like 200 people, 300 people working for 3 years, 4 years. That's how we started working from a very project-based kind of thing to create a multi-year kind of relationship. But that roadmap was planned in 2007, 2008, and got executed over into 15 years of time. So just some examples
Yes.
on that.
Any more questions you have? Yes.
Sir, I just want to know how can I decide a product? I'm trying to go into a new business and I'm facing difficulty in finding a product in which I should pursue further business. So I just want to have
इसके ऊपर
steps
हाँ
where I can compare a few products.
नहीं एक बता दूंगा इसमें we can discuss. अगर ये टॉपिक है तो पूरा दिन भर का टॉपिक है, because I teach that topic. But बिल्कुल शॉर्ट में करते हैं, because I know questions निकल जाएगा. Most of the entrepreneurs get into this particular, I'm not saying you, but most of the people get into the problem of SISP. What is SISP? The solution in search of a problem. It should be reverse way. You should find enough people with a problem and create a solution for that. So that's a reverse way of thinking. So then comes the question ki, what is the normal kind of stuff? Simple to ye mantra hai, follow the market. Simple. Fish where the fish are. Simple. Find out the most extreme, friction point in that. Make it easy for them. Simple चीजों में daily use case देखो, अगर मिलती है तो वो सबसे अच्छा है. Are you solving for a want which is the lowest? Then you are solving for a need which is need is the lowest because the rational. Want is the emotional which is a little bit higher. Then comes the pain. Then pain point अगर solve करे तो बहुत अच्छा है. फिर are you solving a burning pain? That is more better.
but burning pain for large enough people. But burning pain to the extent that people cannot live without it, that's a product which everybody would love to have. So and then are you offering a disruptive solution against that? If you are having the incremental solution which is 10% better or 20% better, then market is not going to like it, because there is an inertia of whatever I am using right now. And therefore it has to be disruptive, and disruptive is very clear. 5 times efficient at 1/5 of the cost. If you are able to bring in that, then you are going to be the winner in that particular. But if we can talk about the normal use cases also, right? People sometimes go for very fancy products. People sometimes go for but simple, where the market is, if you try to play the market with a little bit of innovativeness. For example, there is a company, Mahiba. There's a company out of US. क्या बनाया उसने? एक replaceable soul के पूरा बना दिया कंपनी. $100 पे 100 million सेल किया उसने. Not a sexy idea at all. अभी एक कंपनी, मेरे को उसका नाम नहीं याद आ रहा है, इंडिया का है. They identified a need in terms of like कि ये बच्चों के जो shoes है, right? Young लोग के जो shoes है, and because उनके एज के हिसाब से 8 महीने में, 10 महीने में, 12 महीने में उसका ग्रोथ ज्यादा होता है. अपने तो कांस्टेंट है. And the parents were facing the problem. So he just created a solution which is the adjustable length for the shoes, and then people just like that, right? And the least amount of friction पे denominator पे काम करो, identify the use case, or the different way of looking it is the recalibrating the value chain. लाम बड़ा सारा हो जाता है. But one of the very interesting example, and that's where I will stop. Key, that example is that any value chain, whatever the business everybody is doing, then there is a chain. यहाँ पे ये काम होता है, यहाँ पे ये काम होता है, यहाँ पे ये होता है. There is a sequence of events and all those things which is being called as a value chain, right? So value chain के सब points हैं. Identify those points. Identify points करने के बाद में देखोगे कौन से point पे सबसे ज़्यादा friction है. Where the people are like absolutely, they don't like that. And any business you will find that and that company, and the name I am giving is a company which will evidently come out of this example. So in the real estate, in the buying and selling, which is the most irritating part. Most irritating, ये पूरा journey है brokerage. Exactly, the brokerage is the most irritating. साला देने वाले को और लेने वाले को 1% देना पड़ता है और सबकी जान अटकती है उसमें, right? And then that becomes a very irritating play. These smart people, they will come in and identify this is called as a value creation at one point and value capturing at one point. बता दो. तो उसने क्या किया? No broker करके कंपनी चालू कर दी. No broker कंपनी, उसने बोला broker हटा. So everybody was thinking about कि ये पैसा कैसे कमाएगा. So he said that I will create the value. I will create the value at the most irritating point. And that irritating point was brokerage. तो उसको मैं free कर देता हूँ. Irritation निकल गया. Now if that is the case, right? In that case, he is not capturing the value. Capturing value है पैसा कमाना. Capture यहाँ पे नहीं कर रहा है. So he said, okay, I'll just create this. उसको free कर देता हूँ. Create a very simple platform for people to list and sell all those kind of things. तो शुरुआत में उसने WhatsApp में किया और सबके transaction को उसको रेंट करने का, अंदर ला, बाहर भी करो. जिसको listing करवाना है, sell करवाना है, all that thing happened. He started growing the community, offering that, and moment the community grew. तो ऊपर जाने के बाद में ये point पे उसने value capture चालू किया. He said that कि अभी आपको relocate करना है, पैसा दो. आपको रीसेल करने का सेल एग्रीमेंट बनाना है, घर पे बैठ के करना है, पैसा दो. So in a market which is a big market, he said that the value creation is at a different point, and most of the time when we do a transactional business, the value creation and value capture is at the same point. He delayed the value capturing. So in most of the models, you mapped out your value chain and find out. There are different, I mean, on this topic itself, we can literally talk about complete 1 day, 2 day or 3 day. How to map it out, how
We can have a workshop. Yeah, would like to.
Opportunities कहाँ से? Because ये देखने के बाद में पता लगती है. Then it gives you a lens to look at a particular landscape. कि यहाँ पे मैं कौन सा product और कैसे बनाऊँ. So these are, at the end of the day, I sincerely believe, मेरा तो ये सोच है कि economics, general social, general market, general technology, ये चारों का extrapolation करते आना चाहिए और वो intersection point आपको पहले से देखते आना चाहिए. And then you start planning your journey around that. Because these trends are visible. These trends are visible. और वो ट्रेंड को पहले कैप्चर कौन करता है और उसका टाइमलाइन कितना एस्टिमेट करता है. बिकॉज इफ यू आर टू अर्ली यू आर स्टार्विंग, इफ यू आर लेट दे आर मी टू. दैट्स द इंजीनियरिटी ऑफ द एंटरप्रेन्योर who will work. For example, like the last example देता हूँ, वहां पे बंद करता हूँ. See, everybody was doing digital marketing, social media पे जा रहे हैं, इसमें Facebook जा रहे हैं, Insta जा रहे हैं. मुझे भी मेरा प्रोडक्ट जो Happyeaters का है तो सोशल मीडिया पे जाना पड़ रहा है, all those things. And people have already started complaining about कि भाई SEO का कॉस्ट बढ़ रहा है, कॉस्ट पर लीड बढ़ रहा है, and all those things. So it's not paying out what that much, and all those things. These platforms are becoming inefficient. What is happening? This goes back 20 years. तो 20 साल से जो हो रहा है वो अभी होने वाला है. तो ये लोगों ने कैसे चालू किया? ये लोगों का इट्स अ कंपल्शन ऑन दोस पीपल. सो व्हाट दिस पीपल स्टार्टेड, याहू सर्च वाला था व्हिच वाज 1995, गूगल केम इन 2000, एंड गूगल ने आने के बाद में एक आपको फैसिलिटी ऑफर किया. फैसिलिटी ऑफर करने के बाद में यू नो व्हाट दे विल डू. जैसा फेसबुक आया, फेसबुक के टाइम कंपटीशन नहीं था, क्या कंपटीशन था? माई स्पेस एंड ऑल द ऑर्कुट एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स, लॉट मेनी प्लेयर्स. फेसबुक ने पर से काम किया कि प्लेटफॉर्म डाले. वो प्लेटफॉर्म में लाने के बाद में दे ही बॉट ऑल द प्लेयर्स. सबको आप लोग को बुलाया, बस मेरा इंजन यूज कर लो, मैं आपको डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन भी देता हूँ, मेरे पास भी कस्टमर बेस है. जो भी कस्टमर बेस उस समय होता है उसको करना था पहले एडिशनल. ये इनको बुला लिया कि मैं आपके मेरा प्लेटफॉर्म खोल देता हूँ, आपके एपीआई खोल देता हूँ, आप आपका बनाओ और आपके इसमें भी मेरा नाम दो और आपके कस्टमर्स मेरे ऊपर आने दो और मेरे कस्टमर्स मैं आपको देता हूँ. सो दैट प्ले स्टार्टेड हैपनिंग. सो लॉट ऑफ दिस बिग प्लेयर्स यू नो स्टार्टेड कमिंग. उन्होंने उसके फेसबुक के ऊपर बना दिया, पूरा फेसबुक के ऊपर बना दिया. उसके बाद में फेसबुक के पास में रीच आ गई. रीच आने के बाद में फेसबुक ने देखा कि यार कौन से प्लेयर्स हैं, ये 20 प्लेयर्स हैं. ये 20 प्लेयर्स में से 5 प्लेयर्स कौन से अच्छे हैं सबसे, कि जिनका माल बहुत बेचा जा रहा है, अपने प्लेटफॉर्म के थ्रू भी बेचा जा रहा है, जो अभी ये सारे कंपनीज भी करती है, अमेजोन भी करता है,
कॉमर्स वाले.
तो ये क्या करें, अपनी बनाना. सो दे विल एक्वायर दोस कंपनीज और दे विल क्रिएट देयर ओन प्रोडक्ट एंड किल दोस कंपनीज. बराबर है. तो इनका खेल अभी खत्म होते आ रहा है. अब ये इनको खत्म करेंगे उनके तो इनको सिर्फ इनिशियल लाने में इनका गेम ये है. इनको ला लिया, गेम बढ़ाया और बाद में इनको खत्म कर दिया. बट बाय दैट टाइम नाउ आई हैव रीच्ड 1 बिलियन कस्टमर्स. नाउ व्हाट आई विल डू, आई ऑलरेडी क्रिएटेड दैट ऑफरिंग इनसाइड एंड इधर एक्वायर्ड और किल. अब मैं बोलूंगा बस जिनको जिनको डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन चाहिए, मार्केटिंग के लिए आना है, मेरे पास 1 बिलियन कस्टमर्स है, आप आ जाओ, मैं आपको देता हूं, मगर एडवर्टाइजमेंट का पैसा देना पड़ेगा. एसीओ बीसीओ सब आ गए. करेक्ट. तो अभी वो गेम पे आ गए. अभी एसीओ स्टार्टेड बिकम कम. जस्ट अप्लाई दिस एनालॉजी टू व्हाट एआई विल डू. एआई वही करेगा जो स्पेस जो 20 साल पहले था, वही स्पेस आज सोशल नेटवर्किंग का जो था, सर्च का जो था, वही एआई का स्पेस है. एआई में भी गूगल आ चुका है, ओपन एआई आ चुका है, ग्रो आ चुका है, अमेजोन आ चुका है. ऑल दिस प्लेयर्स सेम. अब इसमें से पहली मूव कोई जो भी करेगा अभी, watch out in this 6 months to 8 months, this month, first move will do that they will start creating a platform for the companies to come in, right? That will happen in the watch. I mean होने वाला है. फिर वहां पे ये लोग ओपन एआई के ऊपर ये लोग अपना प्रोडक्ट बनाएंगे. दोनों भी बेनिफिट होंगे 2 साल के लिए. वो गेम 2-4 साल का ही है, दोनों ने ध्यान में रखना चाहिए. ये गेम होगा, ओपन एआई वही करेगा. फिर ओपन एआई ये मार्केट इनको एक्वायर करेगा, इनको किल करेगा. उसके बाद में ओपन एआई बोलेगा यार मेरे पास भी अभी 2 बिलियन है, अब मैं वही गेम करूंगा जो आज फेसबुक कर रहा है और गूगल कर रहा है. दे विल बिकम अ डिस्कवरी प्लेटफॉर्म एंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन प्लेटफॉर्म फॉर द प्रोडक्ट्स. तो पैसा सबसे ज्यादा वहीं पे. सो what is that? That happened 20 years back. That happened with the Yahoo and Google, right? That happened with Facebook and MySpace. Same thing. Same thing will happen here. So what is that we are talking about? This we are talking about the trends. How these trends evolve and थोड़ा सा पीछे जाके व्यू लेना पड़ता है. तो ये trends are visible. That's what I was coming out कि if the trends are visible, you know. तो इसका मतलब जो भी कंपनीज ओपन एआई के ऊपर प्रोडक्ट बना के लॉन्च करेगी, if you are expert in open AI APIs, you are going to rule the world for next 4 years. होने वाला guaranteed. गेम वहां जाने वाला है. तो these are the trends in terms of how the technologies are moving, how the societal shifts कैसे आ रहे हैं. For India, for example, societal shift is already happening in terms of people who only were conscious for the cost. Now they are paying for the convenience also. So 80 million people are there on the internet right now who are consumers, and new 80 million are going to be added in them by 2030. So 160 million people paying for convenience is a huge opportunity.
Sir, question from the crowd itself.
नहीं crowd ना नहीं मुझे मारेंगे लोग.
सर वो आप ही दे सकते हैं स्पेशली ऐसा में कि सर जैसे आपने बोला पॉइंट वन लार्ज पीपल विद द प्रॉब्लम, find the problem, hit the problem, check done. Second, you told fish, we all are fishing, है ना, बस उतना करो डन. ये टेक नहीं हुआ, मगर समझ लीजिए सर कि ये एक सर्कल है, सब लोग फिशिंग कर रहे हैं बट ऑल ऑन द डायमीटर, राइट? कोर पे किसने हिट
बराबर नहीं, तो बात तुम्हारा पॉइंट है. तो इधर पॉइंट मैं नहीं एक्सप्लेन कर देता हूं.
प्रैक्टिकली आपसे एडवाइस चाहिए थी कि कोर पे हिट नहीं कर रहा. फॉर एग्जांपल समवन, या फिर मान लीजिए मैंने उसको कोर को हिट किया, I had crafted a solution for that business arena completely. Maybe सर वो फील्ड में ही है, फिनटेक का ही है वो भी प्रोडक्ट, एंड मैंने वो कोड भी क्रैक कर लिया एंड डेवलप्ड दैट कोड. सो आई वाज इन द पोजीशन कि मैं लोगों को बताऊं नहीं बताऊं, क्योंकि मार्केट करना है, डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करना है, आगे तो कल जाना है. बट आइडिया इज वेरी यूनिक, हो चुका है, स्टडी हो चुकी हुई है, इट्स अबाउट टू पेटेंट, प्रोसेस में है, बट पेटेंट भी डालना है, कॉस्ट लगता है, पर्सनल लगते हैं, प्रोफेशनलिज्म लगता है, प्रोफेशनल्स लगते हैं. तो अभी क्या करना चाहिए वो आप गाइड. मैं बताऊं तो क्या हो जाएगा, मार्केट में ओपन हो जाएगा, एंड आईटी तो शार्क्स हैं. आईटी वाले शार्क्स हैं, हर कोई बैठा, पब्लिसिटी से लेकर जो जैसे गूगल के प्लेटफॉर्म को, जैसे आप बता रहे थे, मैं आगे ले जाऊं, सारे सर्च इंजीनियर्स को यूज किया. आज परप्लेक्सिटी ने ही, जो इंडियन बॉर्न है मुकेश अग्रवाल जी, उन्होंने ही ऑफर कर दिया गूगल को टू बाय बैक, राइट, आपका क्रोम मुझे भेज दो. तो मेरा वही बोलना है कि वो क्रैक तो किया, कोड अपने पास है, सेक्टर पूरा हिटेड हॉट है, बट अगर उन्हें बोल दिया तो कॉपी होने के चांसेस 6 महीने साल डाउन द लाइन, पीपल विल कम इन, कंपनीज विल कम विद दैट प्रोसेस. तो क्या करना चाहिए कि अभी की स्टेज में, एंड फाउंडर नीडिंग
अगेन दो तीन अप्रोच है उसके लिए. It depends upon where you are, a point provider or a platform provider. In the platform provider, you can be point provider.
Point solution provider, everything discovered.
Correct.
Everything cracked.
हाँ, तो point solution provider.
Platform भी provide कर दिया, बना दिया, crack
So
कर दिया.
majorly in the matured segment, the platform players are matured and they own. So in the initial, if you are, मैं hypothesis लगा रहा हूँ. In the initial stages, if you are trying to get into the market, right, then the strategy would not be a platform player, because platform players is already captured by the matured players. Right? But at the same time, what is happening, because again you appreciate the trends, their technology has started becoming old. The customers, ये अभी जैसे बैंकिंग में भी है, अभी भी देखो, पूछो उनको कि कौन से सिस्टम्स अंदर में चल रहे हैं. 15 साल वाले पहले वाले भी सिस्टम्स अंदर में चल रहे हैं, बिकॉज वो सिस्टम चल रही है. nobody wants to touch and break those kind of systems, right? So प्लेटफॉर्म से निकलना आसान नहीं है बड़े वाले प्लेयर को. तो if you want to go as a platform player, nobody will entertain you to that extent. No, not it. So I will go with a point solution strategy at this point in time. So what I will normally would do, I will go to the established platform players, and that's what we did in the global logic. So we created a service offering के context में बात करता हूँ मैं. So as a Nagpur center, we wanted to crack the operators. Operators in Reliance, Verizon, Rogers, बड़े clients. तो हम लोग तो मोबाइल एप्लीकेशन बनाने वाले थे कि मगर ये बड़े ऑपरेटर्स में हम जाए कैसे और जाके करेंगे क्या, राइट? सो इट वाज वेरी क्लियर, मार्केट वाज बिग. जस्ट टू गिव यू अ प्राइस पॉइंट कि हम लोग $3,000 पर मंथ का हमारा बिलिंग रेट $3,500 पर पर्सन रहता था. when you are going with the operators like Verizon, your average billing rate is $8,000 per person. और जो चेंज आता है, चेंज रिक्वेस्ट आता है, तो चेंज रिक्वेस्ट नॉर्मल क्लाइंट के साथ में आता है $50,000 का, उधर का चेंज रिक्वेस्ट आता है $250,000. चेंज रिक्वेस्ट हमको चेंज करके दो. Now we wanted to get into that market. It's a similar big market. And then what we need to do in that case was a, तो हम लोग प्लेटफॉर्म बनाएंगे, तो प्लेटफॉर्म तो ऑलरेडी कैप्चर्ड है, तो देयर आर ऑलरेडी द पीपल, उनके पास भी पुरानी टेक्नोलॉजी चल रही, दैट इज नंबर 1. नंबर 2, देयर आर ऑलरेडी बिग प्लेयर्स जो उनके साथ में काम कर रहे हैं, और सपोर्टिंग देम ग्लोबली. ये समझ लो, इट इज नॉट अबाउट योर टेक्नोलॉजी और नॉट अबाउट माय कॉम्पिटेंस. उनको पूरा ग्लोबल लेवल पे, आज जैसा IBM है, इन्फोसिस है, दे कैन सपोर्ट इट एवरीवेयर इन द वर्ल्ड. तो उनका उनके ऊपर डिपेंडेंस है, सो दे आर नॉट गोइंग टू, उनको थ्रो में आउट नहीं कर सकते आपके एक प्रोडक्ट की वजह से. सो देन व्हाट वाज द प्लान? द प्लान वाज वेरी क्लियर कि ये गेम नैरेटिव कौन कंट्रोल कर रहा है? ये नैरेटिव कंट्रोल कर रहा है ऑल दिस मास्टर सर्विसेज इंटीग्रेटर्स जो बड़े प्लेयर्स हैं, जिनके रिलेशनशिप्स है और ये बड़े बड़े प्रोजेक्ट्स काम कर रहे हैं. जैसे अभी नागपुर मेट्रो में दीज आर ऑल एमएसआई एलएनटी ही काम करेंगे. आप जाके मेट्रो से बात करो तो वो आपको एंटरटेन नहीं करेंगे. सिमिलर स्ट्रेटेजी, ऑल दिस प्लेटफॉर्म स्ट्रेटेजी, एंड वी सेड वी विल ओनली वर्क विद दिस प्लेटफॉर्म प्लेयर्स. एंड वी सेड आवर कॉम्पिटेंसी वुड बी, आवर कॉम्पिटेंसी इज एनी स्क्रीन, be it mobile screen, with the laptop screen, with the tablet screen, whether it's a TV screen or a Connect screen or whatever it is, we are specialists in multi-screen format of the content. We are very strong. So we took that as a beachhead. As a beachhead. Every MSI wanted to work with us. Because ये competency जो सभी इसमें all smartphones, all tablets, all smart TVs and all connected device बहुत कम लोग के पास में थी. सो वी सेड आप बड़ा बड़ा काम करते रहो, हम ये काम आपको देते हैं. सब प्लेटफॉर्म प्रोवाइडर्स को बोले हम पॉइंट से अंदर आते हैं, और एक बार हम कस्टमर के अंदर घुस गए, फिर हम हमारा एक अकाउंट मैनेजर वहां पे अंदर में रख देते थे, फिर देखते थे आजू बाजू में क्या मिल रहा है, आजू बाजू में क्या मिल रहा है. एंड देन वी स्टार्टेड ग्रोइंग ऑन दैट कि यार हम ये भी कर सकते हैं आपके लिए. बट डायरेक्टली अगर मैं जाता तो मैच्योर्ड प्लेयर, प्लेटफॉर्म प्लेयर आपको अंदर आने नहीं देंगे.
This is about
I
think what you should do, you can have
otherwise वो separate discussion हो जाएगा.
separate discussions होगा, and time also is running out, and would like to invite Naresh ji to please propose the vote of thanks from our view.
Thank you, Vijay ji. It was an amazing session. When this program was doing, we wanted an honest person who can share the ideas, who can share the concept, and nothing better than Hemant ji and Shashikant ji for these sessions actually. तो आने वाले समय अब पॉइंटियल इकोनॉमी है, ग्रोथ अपॉर्चुनिटीज आर गोइंग टू बी देयर, ग्रासरूट लेवल पे पैसा डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन हो रहा है, जो अगर कंपैरिजन करेंगे पिछले कुछ सालों में और इन सालों में, तो एवरीवन इज स्पेंडिंग. झूठियों के आउटलेट्स आ रहे हैं, दे आर फ्लडेड विद द पीपल्स एक्चुअली. द मनी इज गोइंग टू बी देयर विद द ग्रासरूट लेवल पे भी आ रही है, और कोई ना कोई स्पेस कभी खाली नहीं रहती. किसी न किसी ने तो स्पेस लेना है, किसी न किसी ने पोजीशन ऑक्यूपाई करनी है. कंपटीशन तो हमेशा ही थी, जो सर ने कहा 50 साल पहले भी थी, 25 साल पहले भी थी, 20 साल पहले भी थी, 10 साल पहले भी, आज भी और कल भी रहेगी. लेकिन जिसकी ताकत होगी, जिसके आइडियाज होंगे, जिसके कॉन्सेप्ट होंगे, दे विल फाइंड द स्पेस. एंड हियर इज एन अपॉर्चुनिटी. पहले था कई सालों में ऐसे देखे सर, छोटी दुकान चलती थी, बहुत चलती थी, बहुत लोगों का फ्लो था, बहुत बिजनेस था, और उसके बाद में वो जब तक वो था तब तक वो बिजनेस था. कभी ऐसा नहीं हुआ कि वो नहीं है तो भी वो बिजनेस चले. अगर वो सेटअप बना पाते हैं तो दैट इज वेयर द रोल कम्स. ट्रस्ट इन्फो आज एक वो पोजीशन पे आ गया. अब हेमंत जी वहां पे है या नहीं है, द कंपनी विल ग्रो एंड द पीपल विल परफॉर्म. लोग आएंगे, लोग जाएंगे, रतन टाटा चले गया, बट द कंपनी इज गोइंग ऑन. They have made the empire like that. उतना प्रोफेशनल मैनेजमेंट आ गया. तो बेसिक प्रोग्राम का कॉन्सेप्ट यही था कि सबके कहीं ना कहीं समय है, आइडियाज है, कॉन्सेप्ट है. वी आर नॉट यूजिंग इट, तो समवन एल्स इज गोइंग टू यूज दैट ऑल द थिंग्स एक्चुअली. और अगर पिछले कुछ सालों में देखें सर, ऐसा था कि अगर आपकी कोई इनोवेटिव प्रोडक्ट्स है तो ही आप मार्केट में जाके काम कर सकते हैं, या तो ही आप पब्लिक जा सकते हैं या लिस्टिंग में जा सकते हैं. लेकिन अब रिसेंट टाइम में अगर देखें, जितनी नई नई कंपनीज लिस्टिंग में आई है, ऐसा नहीं है कि उनका कोई हार्डकोर कॉम्पिटेंसी या रूटीन बिजनेस वही बिजनेस कर रहे हैं जो बिजनेस आप कर रहे हैं या हम कर रहे हैं, बट दे हैव मेड अ डिफरेंस की विजुअलाइजेशन करके वो लेवल पे चले गए. इसलिए अगर आप नागपुर में आप देखेंगे, केसर लैंड बेसिकली लैंड डेवलपर है, बिल्डर है, और वो लोग काम कर रहे हैं, है ना. ऐसे कईयों बिजनेसेस है अक्रॉस द कंट्री जो आके वो काम करने लगे. लास्ट 6 महीने पहले हमने एक शेयर समाधान करके एक कंपनी है जो लिस्टिंग हुई है, जिसकी वो काम क्या करता था, उसने सिर्फ अपने भाई का एक केस करना था कि उसको उसके भाई की अनफॉर्चुनेटली अनटाइमली डेथ हो गई. उसको शेयर ट्रांसफर करने थे, फिजिकल फॉर्म में शेयर्स थे. उसको इतनी तकलीफ हुई ये करने में, तो उसने लगा जब मेरे को इतनी तकलीफ हुई तो लोगों को भी बहुत तकलीफ हुई होंगी. ठीक है, उसने लोगों को फाइंड आउट किया कि भैया तुम्हारे शेयर ट्रांसफर करने, कम टू मी, मैं ट्रांसफर कर देता हूं, आपके ट्रांसफर करने हैं मैं कर देता हूं. ही वाज जस्ट हेल्पिंग. वो हेल्पिंग करते करते दैट बिकम अ लिस्टेड कंपनी. नेक्स्ट पार्ट था जब वो लास्ट उसका एक प्रोग्राम हुआ था ईयर्स बैक, तो मर्चेंट बैंकर में विमल परवार जी वॉज देयर, उन्होंने ये लिस्टिंग पूरी लेके आई थी उसको। तो आने के बाद में यंग चैप है, मे बी 35 ईयर्स का एज था उसका। अब आया कि आपको पब्लिक लिस्टिंग से क्या फायदा हुआ, तो बोले फायदा ये हुआ जो मेरे पास विजिबिलिटी मिली है, पहले मैं लोगों के पास जाता था, अब लोग मेरे पास आते हैं, और मेरी लिस्टिंग के बाद में एक 18 करोड़ का काम मुझे तुरंत ऑन द नेक्स्ट डे मिला, क्योंकि उनका फेथ कॉन्फिडेंस मेरे पे हो गया, है ना। और यहाँ जितने लोग अवेलेबल है, आई एम प्रीटी श्योर सबके पास आइडियाज है, कॉन्सेप्ट्स है, सब वो प्रोप्राइटरी पार्टनरशिप या छोटी कंपनी के तौर पे कर रहे हैं। सिर्फ एक थॉट प्रोसेस में लाना है, गोइंग बियॉन्ड दैट, कुछ ना कुछ ऐड ऑन करके विद दैट कॉन्सेप्ट वी कैन गो पब्लिक। बेसिकली वीआईए का एक एम ये था, जस्ट टू क्रिएट एन आइडिया कॉन्सेप्ट एंड टू गो फॉरवर्ड। एंड वी हैव Shashikant ji, Hemant ji with us. Sir, we look forward for your regular presence at VIA for some sort of event actually, if we can help, because यहाँ जितने लोग हैं sir, all are there with ideas, कहीं ना कहीं back of the mind ये जरूर है, they want to go, they want to grow, and growth of you people, growth of we people is the growth of the country. Fighting economy, world war rule, अब सबका अपना vested interest है, यूएसए का अपना इंटरेस्ट है, रशिया का अपना इंटरेस्ट है, चाइना का अपना इंटरेस्ट है। इट्स टाइम फॉर वी पीपल एक्चुअली, अब हम लोगों ने परफॉर्म करना है। आई एम वेरी हैप्पी, जैसे हेमंत जी ने कहा अब परफॉर्मेंस क्या है पैसे का, तो यूएसए का एक्विजिशन करना है, वहां और यूके में एक्विजिशन में जाना है। दिस इज द थिंग दैट इज गोइंग टू बी देयर, वी आर देयर टू रूल द वर्ल्ड नाउ, एंड इट्स द टाइम फॉर अस। And I'm thankful to Hemant ji and Shashikant ji for taking your valuable for this session. Thankful to the Finance Forum, Bagadia sir, Pate sir, they have taken over as the Darpan, taken over, and Pawaji, they have taken over the Finance Forum of VI, and they are coming up with more and more programs like this actually. And Finance Forum के लगातार आप लोग भी जितने मेंबर है इंडस्ट्रीज वाले हैं, only industry can be the member of VI. I would request those who are industrialists, be the part of VI, be the part of the journey that we are going ahead with this theme. And I am thankful to all of you for your presence. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
चलो बधाई।